That attempted coup that is underway right now in Venezuela, you may find some of the scenes on the ground disturbing. The clashes are extremely violent. This appears to show Venezuelan military vehicles plowing into a crowd of opposition protesters, knocking people over. And this happened shortly after opposition leader Juan Guaido called on his supporters, both citizens and members of the military, to turn out into the streets in an effort to oust the embattled President Nicolas Maduro. These are live pictures coming to us from Caracas. Vice President Pence, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and National Security Advisor John Bolton have all tweeted their support for Guaido, while Venezuela's information minister is calling it a coup and Maduro is vowing to win the fight. Journalist Stefano Pazaban is on the ground in Caracas, and we have seen, Stefano, protests like this before, but why is this different?
Yes, Brianna, as you said, we've seen this before. The key difference today is that we're seeing members of the military, people in uniforms, green uniforms, standing side by side with opposition leader Juan Guaido in this very same square where I'm speaking to you right now. We had not seen those images so far. Since earlier this year, Juan Guaido declared himself the acting president of Venezuela and urged the top brass of the military to abandon Nicolas Maduro, to effectively defect against the embattled President Maduro. So far, those calls were left unheard. What we're seeing today is that Guaido still really has some support from the military, because next to him were sergeants, lieutenants who spoke, and we were able to speak with some of them who have been telling us that there has been discontent in the army barracks, discontent within the armed forces for some time, and that now is the time to stay put as long as it's needed. Those were the words of some of the military I was able to speak with. Stay put as long as it's needed for Nicolas Maduro to finally step down. As you said, we've been covering these many times, many months of tension and uprising here in Venezuela. What's different today is that there are military men on both sides of the jostle for power, Brianna.
The military is so key to this for whether Maduro is going to stay in power. Juan Guaido is saying that the military is deserting the president. Certainly some members of the military are. Is there a sense whether it has reached a point that will turn the tide for Guaido?
That point, Brianna, has not been reached yet. Could be reached later today or in the next few days, perhaps. When we were able to speak with Juan Guaido in the very early hours of today, we asked him if he knew and if he was aware of uprisings across the country, not just here in Caracas, and he said that yes, many other military units were raising their support and raising their voices in support of Guaido. Of course, comms in Venezuela are extremely difficult, to say the least. Brianna, we haven't been able to confirm any information from the countryside, from the areas of Venezuela that is not just Caracas. From what we can see here, and we are in Altamira Square, a bastion of anti-Maduro opposition for some time right now, we have been seeing tens of the members of the National Guards picking up their arms and say, I recognize Juan Guaido as my commander-in-chief. And that is the most significant development here in Caracas, as well as a new stage of confrontation, because we have seen and witnessed, together with our colleagues, that live ammunition were fired on both sides. And Brianna, here I have in my hands some of the live ammunition that were fired in the streets of Caracas earlier today. These are shots from an AR-15 that the opposition, the members of the military switched side and are joined the opposition were maneuvering. So we're seeing armed confrontation, which is a new development here in Venezuela, and military men standing side by side with the opposition. Another key development, Brianna. These two things are the most important facts to report right now from the ground from Caracas.